So in this tutorial, you're gonna learn how to use the read sensor. In this tutorial, I'm gonna use Arduino Uno, a proto board, a read sensor, a LED light, 220 ohms resistors, and some wires. Let's get started with the wiring. So first of all, we're gonna take the LED light, and as you see, the LED light has two pins. One of them is shorter, one of them is longer. The shorter pin is always used for the ground, and the longer pin is used for the power. So we're gonna take the orange wire and connect it to the same row as the longer pin on the LED light, and also to pin 2 on the Arduino Uno. Now let's take the 220 ohms resistor and connect it to the same row as the shorter pin on the LED light, and also the other end of the resistor we're gonna connect to the blue row of the proto board. Alright, now let's take a look at the read sensor. So the read sensor has 4 pins. One of them is called the G. The G stands for ground. We also have a plus pin. The plus pin stands for 5 volts. Those 2 pins are used for powering the sensor, and we also got a A0 and a D0 pin. We're not gonna need the A0 pin in this tutorial because we're only gonna use the D0 pin. The A0 pin is used for sending analog signals. The D0 pin is used for sending digital signals. So we're just gonna use the D0. We're gonna take the yellow wire and connect it to the same row as the D0 pin on the proto board, and also we're gonna connect the other end of the wire to pin 3 on the Arduino Uno. Now we're gonna take the orange wire and connect it to the same row as the plus pin on the sensor, and also we're gonna connect it to the red row of the proto board. Alright, now let's take the black wire and connect it to the same row as the G pin on the sensor, and also to the blue row of the proto board. Now we're gonna connect the blue row and the red row to Arduino Uno. So we're gonna take the black wire and connect it to the G and D pin on the Arduino Uno, and also to the blue row of the proto board. Now we're gonna take the red wire and connect it to the 5 volts pin on the Arduino Uno, and also to the red row of the proto board. Alright, so this is it for the wiring. Now let's connect the Arduino Uno to our computer, and we're gonna be writing a really simple code. Alright, so first of all, we have to name our pins. So we're gonna type const byte read sensor equals 3, and now for the rest of the code, we don't have to type the pin number anymore. We can just type read sensor when we want to call pin 3. We're gonna do the same for the LED light. So we're gonna type const byte LED equals 2 because we connected the LED light to pin 2. Now let's go into the setup function. So the setup function is only run once when we power up the Arduino. Here we're gonna tell the Arduino which pins are we actually using, and if the pin is gonna be receiving signals or sending signals. So we're gonna type pin mode LED output because on pin 2 we're gonna be sending out signals to the LED light. And for the read sensor, we're gonna type pin mode read sensor input because the signals are gonna go into the pin 3. So on pin 3 we're gonna be reading if there's any signal or not. The signal is gonna be sent by our read sensor, and the read sensor will only send signal to pin 3 if the read sensor has detected a magnet. So now we're gonna go into the loop function. In the loop function, we're gonna type the actual program. So here we're gonna type just one line of code. We're gonna type digital write. So the digital write function is used for turning on the LED light or turning it off. You can type digital write LED 1 to turn on the LED light, or digital write LED 0 to turn it off. But we're not gonna use any numbers over here. We're gonna replace the numbers with another function. So we're gonna type digital read sensors. So the read sensor stands for pin 3, and digital read will read 1 if there's power on pin 3, or it will read 0 if there's no power on pin 3. And the power is sent by our sensor, so the sensor only sends power to pin 3 when the sensor detects a magnet. So if the sensor is gonna detect a magnet, the LED light will turn on. If the sensor is not detecting any magnets, the LED light will turn off. Alright, so this is all we needed to type over here. Now let's try to upload the code, and let's test our project. So let's get our magnet, and if we put the magnet close to the sensor, the LED light turns on, and everything's working great. This is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you made it to the end. Comment down below if you had any problems. I'll try to respond as soon as possible. There's also a link for the code in the description. So if you had any problems with the code, check out the link in the description. Please also check out my new Patreon site to support the channel. Subscribe for more Arduino videos. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.